Hello, and welcome to Recapping with Delora
and Ashley.
Please follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Recapping Podcast.
Also, rate, review, and subscribe to our show on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all the things.
We want to hear your thoughts on the movies and shows we review.
Leave us a comment on Apple Podcasts or our YouTube channel, and we will read them during the show.
Or reach out to us on social media. We love talking all things entertainment and pop culture with you.
Thank you guys so much for listening.
Thank you.
What's up, Delora? New week, new recap.
Yes, ma'am.
I feel like we've been on a little bit of a documentary roll here lately, and
I know we did Juicy Smollett.
Yeah, we did Jussie. We did Amy Bradley is Missing.
Yes.
We're about to do another one, guys, called Unknown Number. The High School Catfish came out this year. It is on Netflix. Listen, y'all. True story. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Messy, messy, messy. I'm sure y'all have heard about it if you're on social media. You may have even heard about it from the news, but we won't spoil it just yet.
I was gonna say, luckily, I went in very cold.
Okay.
I had no idea. So
I had an inkling because I remembered vaguely this news story, but the way that this is shot fooled me. So let me give a quick summary. Let's get into our ratings and then we'll dive in. So a quick summary, a teen girl and her boyfriend face persistent harassment from an unknown caller. Police investigating the months of torment discover a revelation that upends their initial assumptions. Rotten Tomatoes, 80% critic score, 69% audience score. I did not see a Google score for this one, but Delora, having gone in cold, what is your grade, if any, for Unknown Number, the High School Catfish?
I don't know if I'm gonna rate it, but what I will say is I did find this to be satisfying in that we have concrete.
There's a conclusion.
Yes, evidence. There's a beginning, middle, and end, and that's how I usually enjoy my documentaries. You know what I mean? Was this batshit crazy? Absolutely.
And it's
jail.
Truth.
Jail immediately.
That's the thing. It's truth. It's not fiction, baby. It's truth. This is a true fucking story. Okay? Couldn't make it up if we tried. So I agree. I don't have a grade. I feel like I've said this now about multiple documentaries, but I can't really grade it. I just have to digest it. And this was one that took a lot of digestion. I damn near had heartburn after trying to digest this story.
It was sickening to the point where I'm like, I almost wish I didn't watch this because
oh man, yeah.
In that those messages were so disgusting.
It's disturbing. It's a disturbing thing to think about happening to a couple of kids, and then as we discover more, just takes such a disturbing twist. So spoiler alert, guys, as we get into this, again, if you have not caught this true story, I guess there's also a Lifetime version of this that is now out and available. Enjoy that if you'd like, but we're going to dive into the Netflix documentary or it's a documentary, not docuseries, documentary, about an hour and a half. So let's do it. The story is set in small town USA, Beale City, Michigan. Delora, you are from Michigan. Had you ever heard of Beale City?
Don't put them anywhere near me. Absolutely not. I don't know who those people are. They on the other side of that mitten.
You said, listen, Detroit, what? We ain't have nothing to do with these people.
No, never heard of it.
Well, I will say one of my coworkers knows this city and they actually played against them in sports. So it was interesting to talk to her about this documentary for sure. Shout out to Marie.
They were very adamant on how small the town is, though.
Yeah, they said there's nothing to do. Everybody talks about each other. Even the parents talk about the kids because they ain't got nothing better to do than gossip. They primarily just live on their phones, but kind of don't we all at this point? Unfortunately, for a 13-year-old couple, Lauren and Owen, they start getting text messages from an unknown number in October 2020. I'm like, wasn't this still in the height of COVID? What was we doing?
Absolutely.
So they got some messages. They ended up escalating when they started again about a year later and continued for well over a year following that. To your point, Delora, these messages were vulgar, sexually charged. They ended up encouraging self-harm and suicide. They were getting these texts 40, 50 times a day. All the text messages that were shown in the documentary were the real messages that they received. And so Owen and Lauren are, trying to figure out who this could be coming from, right? Their parents are trying to help them figure out who this could be coming from. They're thinking, is it one of our classmates? The point of the messages seemed to be an attempt to break these kids up. Again, they're like 13, 14 years old. They, in the messages, called Lauren by her nickname, which was Low. So it seemed like it was somebody who probably knew her well or used to know her well, what have you. A couple of classmates wondered if it was Lauren herself who was sending them because she didn't really mess with the other girls in school. What'd you think about Lauren? I feel like they made a point to talk about this a few times that, Lauren kind of kept to herself. She really just wanted it to be her and Owen. Did you get the sense that the other classmates may not have been ideal?
So I watched this documentary with my husband, and automatically we were thrown out. Feel like it might be a faculty member. It might be her herself. Shout out to Gone Girl. Like
Mm.
I went in just trying to figure out like who could do this, who would do this, right? Um, so I didn't fully think that she was free from it. And honestly, the number one suspect for me for most of the documentary was Owen's mother, because I've heard of crazy boy moms actions. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Well, there was
Uh,
something that we talked about on Instagram not too long ago where the mom like knew the girlfriend had an allergy
yes.
and
And they
like
call,
poisoned her
yes,
with it to test if
yes.
it was a real allergy. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with
And
you?
then, because the guy wrote into an advice column, and the lady was like, she's gone, man. Like, do not try to.
Yeah, actually, like, let her go. The healthiest option is to let that woman
Yes,
go because your mother is nuts.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, they interviewed both sets of parents, and both sets of
Yes.
parents seemed to be involved. They talked about, especially the moms, Kendra and Jill, leading the charge at the school, trying to get to the bottom of this, and, really feeling underwhelmed with the school's response, right? The school tried to review cameras. But their
Yeah.
strategy didn't really seem to work because at this point, I mean, how effective is that when kids are constantly on their phones?
I know. We talk about this. It's like a millennial conversation of like, we're kind of glad that we had that separation growing up,
Yeah.
because you could go to school and then you could walk away from it. Even if you were being bullied, you could walk away from it because the likelihood of it being your neighborhood, all that stuff. I mean, yes, sure, that exists, but there was definitely cutoffs. You could be free for the weekend.
Yeah.
And,
I got on
now,
I was about to say I got on high school. I got on Facebook when I was a senior in high school when you still had to be invited onto the platform.
yes, yes. So you got on the same year I got on, and that was my freshman year, and you needed a university email address to get in.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I remember when it was just people who were in college, and then they expanded it, and then I was like, everybody's on it. But I say all that to say, I don't think phones should be in school personally.
And that was a kind of a topic of debate throughout this documentary. I think the principal or it was the superintendent said that he was on the fence because he knows how valuable he sees his phone. My response to that is I agree. I don't think they have to have their phones, have school sanctioned tablets or some type of device like that that has what they need for their curriculum. And then that's it because my phone is a distraction all the time, but at least, for me, I as an adult can regulate that a little bit more than if I were a student in school. I don't know what my behavior would have been like if I had access to a phone 24/7 when I was that age. I don't think I would have been as focused. I don't think I would have been getting a lot of stuff accomplished. And yeah, it just probably wouldn't have been healthy. I mean, it's not healthy now, but it really wouldn't have been healthy back then. So one of the things that the school encouraged too was for the parents to like change the kids' numbers and block these numbers that are reaching out. They block the numbers, but both sets of parents seem to refuse to change the kids' phone numbers. I can't
I
say I
thought that
agreed
wasn't
with that.
smart. I was
No,
like, throw the whole phone away. Like that was
exactly.
my first thought. Yeah.
Like they were so determined to figure out who it was. And I get it. You want justice for this harassment, but especially early days, like with the first couple of weeks, I would have changed my kids' phone numbers. Like there's no way I would have, in my mind, let them be constantly harassed for what did it end up being? 13, 14 months?
Oh, it was longer than that. It was like they got up to 20 when they were doing the
Yeah, that's
investigation. So
crazy.
yeah.
That's crazy, right? And inevitably ends up leading to Owen breaking up with Lauren because he was like, yo, maybe we can try this again after all the dust settles.
But I'm just gonna go ahead and say this too. Them talking about being in a quote relationship at 12 years old. When I saw those pictures, I was like, what are we doing here? They're not even in high school talking about we're in a relationship, and they were just talking about, I don't know, forever partners or something crazy. Like,
Delora,
y'all
they were on
are
track to be
babies.
married by like 1920. That's what
All
this
right.
was.
First baby before
Yes.
20.
Yes, they were on track for that life. That's for
Well,
damn
I
sure.
mean, it is a small town, so it's
Yes,
not quite unheard of, but
exactly. Yeah.
crazy.
Unfortunately, the messages only got worse after this breakup. So police ended up getting involved, right? And the number one suspect that ended up being brought to the forefront was Chloe, one of Owen's BFFs from school. She didn't
Yeah.
get along with Lauren. Even her friends were saying, yo, she ain't really a nice person. I
I
saw a
mean,
lot of debate online about Chloe, and I don't like
yeah.
she's still a teen, so I don't really feel comfortable judging her character too harshly.
Yeah. I man, it was just so crazy, this whole situation, because it was, I mean, I was waiting to figure out which teen girls was it. You know what I mean? Like we've watched enough Mean Girls to be like, okay, who's sending these messages? But I just can't get over the context of these messages. I mean, they were sexually explicit, and they went as far as to say, I'm going to take your boyfriend away from you. He doesn't like you anyway, and you should unalive yourself.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck? Like,
Mm-hmm.
what?
And when we say vulgar, I mean like explicit sexual language that at
Yes.
13 or 14, I wouldn't even have known what some of this stuff meant.
Over my head. I'm like, what are we talking about?
Yeah. Deeply disturbing. Obviously, Chloe denies, but it's like, okay, is it her? Is it not her? Is she a mean girl? Her parents were 10 toes down for her. I'll tell you that much.
Shout out to them. Your parents should be 10 toes down. I mean, within reason, of
I was
course.
gonna say, if your child's actually a serial killer or something, then let's back that on up.
It's called accountability. But
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. So next the finger was pointed at Owen's cousin, Adriana, who was also a student. And this came because one of the text messages that was sent ended up being a picture from a family Christmas gathering. Sort of like, who the hell has had access to the house to be able to take this picture, let alone send it. So that sent them into a spiral. Like, it's like, oh, it's really somebody that's close to us. So finally, the sheriff, having exhausted his resources, reaches out to the FBI. So again, this harassment started October 2020. The FBI finally gets involved in April of 2022.
Wow.
Yeah. Owen gets himself a new girlfriend, and it's like a horror movie or something. Her mom suddenly starts getting messages too. That would have, like, it gives me chills. That would have freaked me out so bad to imagine. Like, how could you
Well,
possibly get this lady's number?
is it because again, it's the unknown enemy, right? Like that is it is terrifying. And you know, I talk about this every once in a while because mindset is so important. And what's important about mindset is what you what you put in it. Like, what do you read, what do you hear, what do you see? And so to be bombarded with those ugly messages and the stress of not knowing where they're coming from can absolutely take a mental toll.
Yeah. And this was stalking and harassment at the thousandth degree. Like, again, how could this person who's been sending these messages even know I'm in another relationship? Because this girl didn't even go to their
Exactly.
school, let alone get
Exactly.
her mother's phone number. So this girl didn't play. She wasn't sitting around for no year letting, she said, oh no, baby, I got to go. She dips on out. She says, Owen, it's been nice knowing you, but I can't do this. So the FBI is able to work their magic, get with the companies like Verizon, track down these IP addresses of these phone numbers. I'm getting like butterflies in my stomach talking about this. And they track these numbers back to one person, Lauren's mother. Kendra is the suspect numero uno.
Like, there's no other possible person it could be. It is Lauren's mother. You know, the level of rage I had watching this documentary, especially when she was confronted about it.
Girl,
Ashley, when she was holding on to her
girl,
daughter, I was like, where's my fucking knife? I would,
girl.
Ashley, shout out to her daughter. I think something's wrong there in that she's brainwashed that girl or something
She
like
has
that.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yes, because I know she's the mother or whatever, but me as my person, I'm like, we would have been fisticuffs. Like, you've been playing in my face for almost 2 years.
I have no idea how, because I have no idea how it would react. The person, again, because that's a betrayal on a level to the depths that I don't know how easily you can really
It's
comprehend.
cellular. It's so like I don't
It's
know.
so
I am
shocking.
concerned for that young lady. Like,
Oh,
I'm not even joking. like
absolutely.
like
Anybody who watched, I ended up having my hairdresser watch this in real time so I could see her reaction while I was getting my hair done. Everybody has the same reaction to that moment when Kendra gets caught up and the police are at the house and she's hugging all on Lauren. Everybody yells at the TV, get
get
off of
your
her.
hands off of her.
Because you
It
see
makes
in that
no
moment the
sense.
level of manipulation that she's had.
Yes. It's so sickening. It's so sickening. It's like you have sent your own child this vulgar language. You have harassed her. You have sent the community and its resources running around, essentially running around like you're chasing your tail.
I think I was open mouth when they came, when the police came initially and they were talking to her. And she was like, they were like, this has come back to you. She's like, no. And they're like, yes, we tracked the IP addresses, da da da, it's come back to you. And she was like, they were like, so, how did this start? Well, it didn't start that way. I think, like, literally, like, my mouth went open and my eyes went
A
wide
liar's gonna lie.
because I was
What they
just
say,
like,
how you know she lying? She opened up her mouth.
but I was just
Okay.
like, it was like the reality even sinking in for me because I said at the top of this recap that I had an inkling. I remembered this story. I remembered it being one of the moms, but they
Mm.
threw me off. The documentarians threw me off with having her interviewed because when you watch this a second time and you realize the shit she's saying to lead up to this, I'm like, you fucking bitch.
You also notice that Lauren's parents never sat in the same room together, but Owen's parents did. And you certain subtle things that you didn't think about until you watch it again.
I don't even remember that distinction. All I remember is thinking like, y'all had me bamboozled because when is the guilty party ever a part of the interviews to this capacity? Never.
It's it's diabolical. Like
Yep.
something is wrong with that woman.
It, I mean, sick in the head. And when they called the husband and told him what had happened, and not only was she lying to you and harassing and stalking your child, she had been lying about her employment and put you guys into the poorhouse because of it. Destroyed your finances. That man getting choked up in his
Yep.
interviews, talking about everything he's lost,
Yep.
talking about how she shot his heart out of his chest.
To me, I think he had the realest acceptable reaction.
I said, and I say this truly, I do never condone violence,
No,
man against
no,
woman.
no.
But I will say in that moment, if I was him, it would have taken a lot for me to not have a significant reaction. I think he handled it very well. He called her parents. He said, "Yo, you got to get up out of here.
And when she had the audacity to say, no,
I can't leave
no,
her. I can't leave her. You mean you can't leave the child that you tried to get to commit suicide? How does she not get child abuse charges? Is my question. Because that's
you know
child
how
abuse.
dangerous, like, words have so much power. You cannot. Can you imagine the seeds she was planting in that girl's head? Talking about, oh, I know my daughter, she wouldn't have done it. How do you know?
Even if she wouldn't have done it, do you know if Owen would or would not have done it? Because Owen was feeling suicidal at one point as well because of this harassment. Right? So would you have felt bad had Owen offed himself because of you stalking him for a year plus?
It's so sick. And I think what really, again, inflamed my rage was this bitch crying.
Bro, the audacity. And even to be like gaslighting us
Yes.
about
Yes.
what she's done. She said everyone breaks the law.
Oh my goodness. I was telling my husband, I was like, it's so funny how she's trying to rationale her actions. Is this what guilty people do? I'm
Yeah.
not alone in the shady sugar honey I see I do.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, she's psycho. I mean, that's the only she's out of her mind.
You know what? I was like, what is this woman's motivation? Because I'm like, is it because she has a pretty daughter? Like, I don't. What? Uh, why?
That's the question. That is the question. She says during her sentencing, because she does get sentenced to 19 months in prison for 2 counts of stalking a minor. Again, child abuse should
That's
have been thrown in there.
light work. It should have. She been at minimum 4 or 5 years. if I had anything to do with it.
Absolutely. She's claiming early on that, hey, or still, even throughout, I didn't send the early messages. I piggyback off of them and fed off of them. And it started with me just trying to get to the bottom of it. And then it spiraled. And oh, this is because I was abused. I was raped when I was 17. And I didn't want the same thing to happen to my daughter. So you thought it was better to harass and stalk her when she had a loving little boyfriend than anything else. Like she could get raped at any time. What does this have to do with that?
Shout out to the mom's cousin. She was like, I grew up with her and she
She just
needed
wants attention.
attention.
I tell you who also gets a star in my book for keeping it together is Owen's mom, because if I was Owen's mom, you could
Listen,
not have kept me off that lady.
listen. I think that's so valid because I think we focus so much on the fact that this is Lauren's mother, but to your point, she was friends with those people.
Besties, besties traveled together, attended family events together. Again, that picture at Christmas, y'all remember that? That was Kendra taking a picture at their family Christmas to send it to harass these children. She's fucking sick. It's a level that I will never understand. I never want to understand. There's discussion in this if this was Munchausen's by proxy, which I could definitely see, because it seems like what she did was possibly try to keep Lauren as close as possible by abusing her and then playing hero to her at the same time.
Yeah. When I saw that, I immediately thought about Gypsy Rose.
Yep.
And when you find out like her mom was making her sick because her mom needed, I guess, to feel wanted or take care of.
Yep.
And I was like, this is so sick. How diabolical are you to create the problem just for you to be the savior?
Yep.
That's why when they said that, I was like, oh, Lauren's going to need help. Okay. Because the
Absolutely.
fact that her mom, Kendra, I ain't even calling her mom anymore. Kendra sending all these love bombing messages. Oh my goodness, I miss you so much. I'm so excited to talk to my mom in jail. We talk on like Tuesdays and Wednesdays or something like that. I'm like, oh my goodness.
This is
She
when I
got
would
this little
have,
girl hooked.
yeah, I would have had to put my foot down if I was the dad. I would have been like, yo,
Easy. We're cutting
no
this.
communication. In my opinion,
None.
Lauren should not speak to her mother for at least 10 years.
Lauren needs to leave that small town, live some life somewhere else, because I guarantee you she's going to wake up one day and be like, oh my goodness.
And one thing I didn't notice my first watch that I definitely noticed this last watch was I had read that there was a separation between her two interviews. So you see the interviews when she's like in her room, and then you see a later interview. There's a space of time between there. That's why those earlier interviews, and she's like, I feel like part of me is missing. I don't really care what anybody says. I still want to be close with my mom. Is a different tone than that second interview when she's had more time and space. And they mentioned that even though her mother is out of prison, they haven't seen each other in a year and a half. So there is a difference in her tone, and I want that to continue, because I'm like, if I was a dad, Lauren would be in deep therapy, and she would not have any contact with her mother while she's under my roof. And I would encourage her to not have any conversations or interaction with her mother for at least 10 years when she can fully process what her mother has done, and then decide if she's worthy of building a relationship with. Because that lady, to me, hasn't learned shit.
Not, it's supposed to be rehabilitation, right? There was no remorse.
No.
It was more me. Let me explain why I did what I did, not, oh, I'm sorry for what I did. And who knows what the lasting effects are going to be.
No idea. And poor Owen. Owen's like, yo, I don't even spit in Lauren's direction. And I can't blame him.
I can't blame him. But that kind of made me so sad because they were so close together.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Like, I
But
can't be cool with you if you can't even see and understand the pain your mom has caused on my
that is
life.
true. That is very true. But what did you think about their angle, though, that they were trying to say that she was like, Mrs. Robinson Owen?
Yeah. So Jill and Owen both think that she had some type of infatuation with him. And that could very well be true. Again, the sexual nature of a lot of those messages, the
Yes.
fact that I guess she gave him extra special attention. She still came to all his sporting events, even when they were broken up.
Yeah.
She would do extra special things for him. Very well could be. Because again, I find her to be somebody who, based on conversation and interviews, is always seeking attention.
Yep.
And she could have developed an unhealthy infatuation with this young man and been attracted to him, right?
Mm,
And took that
yeah.
to a different level. So, absolutely. Do I think she could be a pedophile? For sure. Nothing is off limits when it comes to this lady in my mind. She's an awful human being. I literally have in my notes, I hate her. There is no excuse she could give for
Period.
this that I would accept. I am disgusted and appalled.
I feel like her. I feel like just the whole situation's ugly, 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 ugly.
Yeah, man, it's devastating. Like, again, you go through all of this, all the students are pointing fingers trying to figure it out. You have the staff going nuts, you have the police involved, you bring the FBI into it. You have these kids who are suffering, whose lives will never be the same. For it to have turned out to be one of their parents is just devastating, right? And I don't know how the community really recovered from this either, because she was so heavily involved. That's another thing. This was a mom who was heavily involved in the
She was a freaking
activities.
coach and everything of
She was,
places.
girl, she was actively involved in school programs and everything.
I actually really wish we kind of got more of like the community response. Like,
Yeah.
I think it would have been nice to see more of that.
I wonder if they're still digesting, because one thing I wanted to bring up that I know was mentioned, especially in some people's critiques of this documentary, is that have they given these kids enough space and time away from this? They're still in school, they're still in high school when they're being interviewed. And the actual kids are used for reenactments. Is that adding on to their trauma?
I do not agree when people do documentaries and they're doing the reenactment. I find that to be very odd personally. Now, it sounds like they're just trying to save some money potentially. I don't know, but I don't know. But for the most part, it was a well done documentary. Like, it was interesting to watch. Oh, the one thing I kept telling David, I'm like, who got paid to read these text messages? The way there was one in particular where the voice was like, bitch. It was so it was so funny to me because I'm like, oh, they had a field day. Whoever had the job.
I feel like it was like a robotic voice a little bit. I don't even know if it was a real
Oh, it
person.
sounded like a little human in there.
Did
Uh,
this documentary give Kendra exactly what she wanted, which was attention?
anytime a person like that gets attention, I feel like you can't help it. But I think what it did ultimately was highlight one of the most bizarre cases in recent history. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
in the early 90s, I remember, mind you, I was a child, but I vividly remember hearing about a woman chopping her husband's penis off and throwing it out the window. Like, what's that woman's name? I can't remember. You
I
heard
think
about
he
that
had it
case?
reattached and then he like
Yes.
messed it up later,
Did it? Oh, I
playing,
don't
doing some
know.
other stuff. Yeah,
But
there was some stuff going on
every
additional to him.
generation has that crazy, wild, story. And I feel like this is fitting in the digital age that we are currently living in.
I wonder where that lady goes from here, because she has to be blackballed. So I don't know where she's about to go and what she's about to do, but good riddance. I hope that these kids get the therapy that they need. I hope that that husband gets the therapy he needs because this is so disturbing and sad. And I'm sure,
He's still so emotional, but I mean,
yeah, I'm sure he's
I
glad
to be
he had only
lied
had one
to,
child with that woman. That's what I was thinking. Like at
to be
least you only
lied
had one.
to every day
Yeah,
in your face.
yeah. What'd you think about Chloe's parents saying that they felt like Lauren and the dad knew more than what they're saying, that the sheriff should have investigated them more deeply because they had to have known what was going on?
I mean, I think what they have to say is valid, but I don't know. I didn't think that much of it, frankly. I mean, I just thought like, yeah, probably, because how many of these cases have we seen where the call is coming from inside the house? You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they were just venting. I think they were just frustrated. The finger was pointed at their child, so
Yeah.
they didn't take kindly to that. But I don't think that the whole family was in on what she was up to, especially based on their reactions from like the police cam and stuff. I didn't take it that they were involved. So, all right. Any final thoughts on Unknown Number, the high school catfish?
I'm glad I was able to still go in cold because I knew there was a lot of rumblings going on the
Mm-hmm.
documentary. Shocking, disgusting.
Throw that lady under
I'm
the jail.
listen, listen, wishing Lauren the best in life
Yeah.
and clarity. You know what I mean? Because man, oh man,
Yeah.
I, that mental manipulation. Oh,
God bless,
and
baby.
who knows what forms of that she could have been living through all these years. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Like I be thinking, yo, I got to work through my childhood trauma. This, I don't, what do you do? Like, what do you do for this? Is this, what do you do for this? I don't
Exactly.
know. I don't know. I hope some therapists have reached out. My final thoughts are just that this was a
Pro
documentary,
bono.
right? This is a documentary that I did not see coming. Like I said, I had heard about this news story, so I felt like I knew what was going on. But the documentarians really threw me for a loop with having this lady involved in the early interviews and talking about Ish and oh, we're trying to work this out and track this down, and the school didn't do a good job. And I know that was intentional, and I don't know how much of that I like because I feel like they were playing in my face a little bit. I did not like the students, the actual kids being involved in reenactments. I thought it kind of cheapens the
Mm-hmm.
seriousness and severity of this story
Mm-hmm.
because they are still traumatized. Don't be having Lauren looking all longingly in the camera as she's sending off fake text messages. Don't be following Owen through the school and stuff. Like these kids have been through enough. Use some little actors,
Yeah, because that feels like you're
re
reopening
traumatizing them.
those wounds.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, let's not be ridiculous. So I did not like those choices. So do better. But otherwise, this was fascinating and fucked up.
Especially because they're minors. It'd be different if they were like adults, maybe,
Yeah.
but who knows again what type of
Don't do this.
mental work they have to go through to
Yeah.
be.
No, don't do this. Don't do this, documentarians. Don't do this. All right, Dora, let's move on to our hidden gems. What you got for the week?
Yes, I have one hidden gem this week, and it's something that brought me joy because this documentary was traumatizing. Uh, I talk about this show all the time. I'm referring to Hot Ones. It's one of my favorite interviews ever. And what I love about it is our girl Keke Palmer. She was on for the third time. And what is so cute is so Sean has been on chicken date with our girl. I think her name is Amanda. Why am I forgetting her name?
It's Amelia.
Amelia, thank you. And she got him to tell her his celebrity, crush out of all the guests, and he mentioned Keke Palmer. And, Keke got a wind of it. And at the end of this particular Hot Ones, she was like, I think we can, give each other a smooch or something like that. And they do it. And it's just so cute. I feel like this is better than Amelia and Andrew
Andrew.
Garfield.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean?
It is because it feels real. I
Yes.
don't, Sean, okay. I see you.
White man who's not afraid of heat.
And
The
also,
win.
who doesn't love Keke Palmer? Like, he has
That
good
part.
taste.
That is what I'm saying. I'm like, that says a lot about you, sir. I appreciate where you're coming from. It was so cute. I'm not gonna lie, the episode is filled with Popeye ads because apparently they have a collab. But somebody in the comments, like,
Love
imagine
that
being
chicken
on date
Popeyes.
and Popeyes keeps interrupting it.
If the food is free, let's do it.
But Keke was like such a trooper. And like I said, I think she's the only one who's done it 3 times. So she's in rare air. So we love it. We love that for her.
Mm-hmm.
That's my hidden gem today. How about you, Ashley?
All right. So I have one documentary and one thriller series to discuss in my hidden gems today. First one, Seen and Heard, the history of Black television on HBO Max. This is Issa Rae's
Yes.
production company bringing this to the
Mm-hmm.
screen. Now, to be fair, I haven't finished it just because I keep watching it in the evenings and I'm tired because of work. So I still need to actually finish it, but it's 2 episodes and it celebrates and explores the history and evolution of Black storytelling and talent on TV. You have folks like Oprah, Shonda Rhimes, our girl Tracy Ellis Ross, multiple people on there discussing and chatting and interviewing about Black television. So it's definitely one to watch, especially if you enjoy these type of documentaries like we did with Number One on the Call Sheet. So
Which is legendary.
I love to see it.
Yes.
Next hidden gem, thriller series currently on Amazon Prime called The Girlfriend. I did not know anything about this. This was a lovely treat over the weekend that I stumbled upon. This stars Robin Wright, Olivia Cook. They are at odds over
Yep.
Robin Wright's son. You know, it's like the mom who is a helicopter mom on 1,000 on steroids.
Yep.
He has a new girlfriend and the shit hits the fan. And it gives you a little bit to me of like Beef or the War of the Roses vibes in terms of
Yeah.
how it falls apart and how the lengths that these women are willing to go.
Mm.
And again, I wasn't ready. I thought it was done well. I enjoyed
Really?
it. Oh yeah. And we have like some travel in there too. You have some opulence in there. It was a
You
good
know
time.
what I'm thinking looking at it? I'm like, are they gonna end up kissing or something? That's how crazy they are.
You have to watch and see, guys. You have to watch and see, but I will say it was worth the ride. So that is 6 episodes available on Amazon Prime. And that is it. That is all. Thank you guys for sticking with us for yet another recap. This
Thank
one was
you.
one for the books.
Yes,
If
it
you have not
was.
seen this documentary, take a look or just leave us your thoughts on this conversation. Thank you so much. Share this with everybody you know. We will be back with more in headlines and hot topics. But in the meantime, as always, be blessed.
Bye.